What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin today, XCN USD. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, you guys. It is the 6th day of October. Here we are sitting at about 1.12 cents. 9 hours and 50 minutes left in the day here. Before we get started on the TA, I want to offer some thoughts. Some provoking thoughts. Thoughts that I'm okay with. It's not what I would have preferred, but it's okay. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I went to Onyx, their page here, scrolled all the way down to the 19th of September. Where are you here? 19th of September. We're getting there. They make a lot of posts, these guys, man. 19th, here we go. Here we go. Where the poll to increase XCN native staking rate to 40% is now live, right? Their yield to be 40% if I'm understanding that properly. So that's awesome. Vote now and participate in the DAO below. I'm assuming that would mean that the yield is 40%, right? Whenever it says native staking rate, it's got to be the yield. It's the same thing, I think. I checked, and this did get passed on the 21st of September. So it's very likely that at some point we will see a 40% yield in the OnyxCoin staking. I was against this personally because I think yields, as far as staking goes, that promotes more selling pressure than it does buying pressure, especially with high yields, right? People who are staking stuff like this, if they're looking for what the highest yielding stake protocol is in the crypto space, they're putting their money in there so they can sell with passive income without having with having little risk to their portfolio, right? XCN, while it has been moving down since April, it's been moving down rather slowly. So you can, with a 40% APR, you could definitely make your money back, or at least mitigate the losses here and take a passive income while you're doing that. Restake and get more rewards, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's happened. The staking rewards right now are about 14.5%, so I don't know when they're going to increase it to 40%. Maybe they just won't do it. Maybe they'll hear us out and they won't do it. But some people wanted this to happen. Overall, I think it'll be a net positive for XCN. I don't think it'll be a net negative. I just think it'd be more positive if it didn't happen. But the benefits here, you guys, if you think about it, when the rates do get raised to 40%, I don't know for how long it'll be there. These staking rates, they change as we're all accustomed to, right? I remember back here for a long time it was 30%. Right, 30%. And by the way, we had 30% APR this whole time. So the fact that it's 40% now, I don't think that it'll hurt our capabilities of growth, right, personally. But it will add selling pressure to the high. I think it will hurt our all-time high potential top area. I do think that will hurt, but net positive, I think, for growth overall. This will attract people to invest in OnyxCoin. This will attract people who might not have thought of it any other way. They'll look at it as an opportunity to gain some yield, and then they'll figure out that, oh, wow, this coin's actually got a lot more going on than just its staking protocol. It's actually pretty damn cool. And how easy it is to just stake and unstake and restake, claim your rewards, all that stuff. There's a lot more than just this even going on with the Onyx Points program and Zealy and Goliath and AI agents, all this stuff, right? The thought that I want to leave with here is this, right? We've got about 6 months, maybe 7 months left in this bull market. That's my thought. I think that we will end in April or May of 2026. So that's, being that it's the beginning of October now, that's about 6 or 7 months from now. Maybe even 7.5 months. 40% a year over 6 to 7 months might be 20% then, right? It would be 20%. So if you had 1 million Onyx coins and you had 20% of that received in rewards, by the end of the cycle, your 1 million tokens turns into 1,200,000. If OnyxCoin does what I think it will, which I'm very confident it will, go to prices above $1, that means anybody staking right now, if you had 1 million tokens, let's just say, at $1, by the time that we get up there, you're going to have an extra $200,000. At 1 million tokens, $1 is $1 million, but just through staking, you'll have an extra 20% of that. That's kind of cool. And you can scale that up or scale that down for whatever amount you're holding, right? Maybe you're holding 1,000. Well, then you get 200. But that depends on when they enact this. They haven't enacted it yet. I've been checking. I haven't seen it happen yet, but it's something to mention nonetheless, something to be aware of. So be prepared. We probably will have 40% staking rates coming online any day, any week now. And I wouldn't be surprised if that correlated actually with the pump, because that could bring in a lot of attention. Somebody was asking me about this. They're like, why don't you want to see this staking rate? Wouldn't that bring new investors in? Yes, it would, but nothing brings in new investors. Staking can bring in new investors, sure, and it brings in some, the savvy people who are stake hunters. But what brings in the most investors is pumping, right? OnyxCoin, nobody talked about it back here. And then it was on everybody's radar with this, right? It had the 30% staking. It was over 30% staking back here, but that's not what brought in the masses. It was this that brought in the masses, right? So I'm just saying, right? We've got that as far as experience goes. We know that for a fact. Staking rates in itself, they might bring in some people, right? That interested me in itself, but I never staked. I didn't stake until after this move, actually. This brought in a lot more investors than the staking rates did. Anyways, maybe we'll get a little bit of both, high staking rate and high yield in the price here. But looking at this now, getting into the short and skinny, looking at the 1 hour time frame, I very much do believe we're about to move up. I wouldn't be surprised, guys. I mean, I could be making a video later today, tomorrow, and we're all the way up at 2 cents. This thing's going to rip at any moment now. I'm very confident that it is. We are moments away, and I'm going to be very sad whenever we pump because I can't seem to get enough of this stuff. I'm trying to buy more, and I might buy more today. We'll see. Between this and Cookie Dow and maybe another one that I'm thinking about buying. I do like the idea of diversifying, but at the same time, whenever it comes to XCN, I can't help myself. Bitcoin's moving up here, 125K right now. Finding support at prior resistance here, stair-stepping our way up. Yes, we're getting some volatility, right? Pumping and then dumping down. But I think what this is that there's someone who's fat-fingering this thing. They're buying a lot and then letting the price regulate back down. Then they're buying a lot and then regulating back down. And they're just trying to buy in droves before this thing actually rips to the upside. We've clearly shifted from a downward sloping trend to a sideways trend right now, a horizontal trend. And I think we're going to make the ultimate transition and go into an upward sloping trend here pretty soon. Pretty. Why did I say that? Very soon. Anyways, 1 hour time frame. What was the word I was looking for? Pretty. I don't even know, man. 1 hour RSI looks a bit volatile and technically bearish right now. Looking at the price, 42 minutes left. Let's see if we can come up and close green. Stochastics are bullish. MACD looks like it wants to cross above the zero. Bullish. 4 hour time frame here. RSI is overall bullish. Absolutely it is. You're at a point where I'd expect you to move up. Stochastics look bullish. Looks like they want to come up. And the MACD as well is actually at a good area. You guys, I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the day we were back up here or higher. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Like this week is the week that's going to start this breakout of this overall move here. And then this overall consolidation phase that we've been in since the beginning of April. I really wouldn't be surprised if this week we were up at 2 cents or more. That's my expectation by the end of this week, genuinely. Stochastics look like they're good, pointing back upwards. You did reject the 50, which is not beneficial. That's not good, but here you're crossing back up. You have higher lows, all that. The MACD did reject the zero, which is not good, but now you're coming back up like you want to cross the zero. I have a feeling we've just got all these things set in place where we get overbought, we cross above the zero, we do all that. You guys, we're ripping through the freaking roof. And if we get to 2 cents, we get to 1.7 cents. I think at that point it's undeniable that we're breaking out of this downtrend. Undeniable. And if we're breaking out of this downtrend, might we be breaking out of this overall phase that we've been in since the end of January? Might we be moving on to new relative highs? And if we're doing that, even at a minimum standard, let's not even talk about where I believe and where probably a lot of you believe the price is going to go as well. But if we talk about the minimum standard, XCN's minimum is a 7x from here. That's an 8 cent price. 1.1, and when I say minimum, I'm not talking about the overall move. I just mean the true minimum target is the 1272. 7x in price. Even if we stop there, that's outperforming the average altcoin by like a 2 to 1. Let alone 15.7 cents. Let alone if we go to the area that I'm expecting we go to, which is 26 to 32 cents. That is all the way up at 22x to a 27, 28, 29x, something like that. Crazy growth. And can we get there by the end of October? Absolutely we can. Absolutely we can. If we see a move like we did back here in January, mid-January to late January, right? This is on a daily time frame, literally all within a 2-week period. If we see a move like that, you guys, we're right there. we're right there on October 20th. So if you don't think it's possible, it's happened before. If you don't think it's possible, we've moved down all this way. Moving back up is typically faster than moving down. We've consolidated for a long time, probably longer than most cryptos at this point. I mean, most cryptos have consolidated since April. We've been consolidating since January. And we're on top of a very robust movement, probably one of the most robust movements of the whole damn space right now. I would very much expect that this thing sees some miraculous growth between now and the end of this month. Whether we're at 8 cents or 26 cents by the end of the month, I don't care. I very much do believe we're getting to 26 to 32 cents at some point, whether it's the end of this month, sometime in November, or the end of the year. We're getting there. We're going to grow there. 1.119 cents right now. And I think that it's going to start to launch any day now. This is the week. I think this is the week here that it begins. And we'll know. We'll know. The price to watch for to confirm that we are breaking out by way of the fibs would technically be 2.4 cents, 2.7 cents. If we close a week above 2.4 cents, it's on. And by way of the price, depends on what standard you want to go off of. Me, I'd go off of this little horizontal phase here. So any close above 1.35 cents would do it for me. But if you want to be a stickler and you want to say, you have to change the trend, okay, getting above this high would do it then. And that means getting above 2 cents. So 2 cents, 1.4 cents, 2.7 cents, whatever it might be, whatever the case may be, somewhere in this kind of area here, that's where we would validate that we're breaking out of this overall downtrend and that we're ready to go higher. And again, the minimum target from there is like a 7x from the current price. So very phenomenal things ahead of us. Very, very bullish prospects await. We got about 6 days, 10 hours left in this week so far. And right now we're up a little bit, right? Bitcoin's pushing new all-time highs. The rest of the market looks good. A lot of people have been asking, and I said this in my most recent Bitcoin video, when will my altcoins pump? Well, I think after Bitcoin's done moving and it consolidates, once Bitcoin consolidates, that's when you're going to see altcoins pump. And I would assume XCN this week, alongside of a bunch of other altcoins, is going to pump dramatically at a fantastic rate. Waiting to see when this gets passed. I'm hoping, because the Onyx DAO, it's not really a DAO, right? The wallet that got this approved, they put in like 270 million votes, right? So it's a DAO, decentralized autonomous organization, but not really, right? It's very centralized as far as who gets the say in this. Even if I put all my XCN into voting against it, it wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have even been. I don't want to say the percentage because I don't want people tracking me, but it wouldn't have even been significant enough. But nonetheless, they have the power. They can even though the vote went through, they could of course decide against it if they wanted to. After all, they took away the fact that this says Onyx DAO. Now it's just Onyx. So we'll see. It passed on the 21st of September, and it's the 6th of October now. They still haven't upped the rates, so I would assume it happens at some point. Maybe that'll be directly coincided with the pump. We'll see. Anyways, I got nothing else. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all. Take care. Bye-bye.